Hello everyone, welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm broadcasting to you live from beautiful Budapest, Hungary, Central Europe. Today we are looking at task 2 writing example. It's practically the same for both general and academic IELTS, so this lesson is valuable no matter which one you're currently studying for. As usual, our materials are coming from our websites at www.aehelp.com for academic IELTS. And if you're studying for general IELTS, please visit us at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. Hi everyone who's joining in. Hi Vandana, good to see you. Hi Baljit. Those green names are some of our sponsors. Hi Fazia, hi Vidya, hi Shiji. Hi, Motivational Guru. I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking. All right, for those of you who have access to our full course, if you haven't logged in a while, check it out. We've uploaded a whole bunch of the live classes there in order of the exams. Vandana, I just read your comment. Congratulations on your fantastic score. 7.5, that's awesome. You should be proud of yourself. That's a very high score. Believe it or not, even a lot of native speakers would be very challenged to get an overall 7.5. So good for you. It's a nice, strong score. That's good. That I'm sure that'll be enough to get you where you're going. So congratulations, Vandana. I'm very happy for you, and I'm happy to have aided in your success. Yep, keep at that writing, Vandana. It's usually when somebody gets into those higher marks, it's usually the writing that still needs just continuous work. Writing is something that everybody has to work on. Doesn't matter if you're a native speaker or not a native speaker of English. You just really have to practice it. It takes a lot of practice to master writing. There's a lot of different elements to that, some of which we will be discussing today. Also, check out our app in your Google Play Store. Finally, we should be able to have this up in your Apple Store as well by the end of this week. We added some new features to the app as well, so make sure you update your app because we added a strategies section so you can practice that also. Okay. Sai Try Trung Deen. Yes, you can watch this live stream later on our channel after it's finished in about 2 hours. Of course, you won't be able to chat since I'm not there really, but yes, these are up on the channel later. Okay, girls and guys, so little bit more of the formalities and then we'll get right to the question. If you have any comments or concerns regarding IELTS or our websites, you can always feel free to email me at adrian@aehelp.com, or if you want to set up some IELTS practice speaking interviews, that is a paid service, but a very, very useful service. So if you need that, contact me. And there's also writing and editing help on the website. Also, all right. So here's a little bit of our schedule. Today we're doing writing task 2. Tomorrow we're going to do a sponsored chat only. We will be focusing on a speaking section. Then on Friday we'll do some writing task 1 for the academic, and then Saturday a bit more for the sponsored chat. Then we'll finish up the week with the reading section, and then there won't be any class for the Monday and Tuesday as usual. All right, so without further ado, here's the question for today. So we're looking at writing task 2. Again, it's 40 minutes. You have 1 hour for the whole writing section. That gives you 20 minutes for task 1, 40 minutes for task 2. Remember that task 2 is worth twice that of task 1. Always write task 1 first so you can warm up for task 2. Task 1 should be easier to write if you know what you're doing. And then, of course, for task 2, you have a few different kinds of questions that you can be asked, but the essay is a persuasive essay and almost always in first person voice. Hi, Baljit. I see you in there as well. Okay, so here we go. Let's look at the question first. Some people argue that keeping pets is beneficial for longevity, while others believe that household animals are not healthy for people to have as companions. And now here is the key to this question as well. Discuss both sides of the argument and include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. So in this case, we're looking at both sides of the argument, okay? We wrote an essay not too long ago about pets. That one was focusing on one side of the argument, okay? So pay very close attention to that. If you need to talk about both sides, your essay has to have both sides. If it says, which one do you believe, this side or that side, then you need to focus on one side, okay? So really pay attention to the details of task 2 questions. Now it says you should write at least 250 words. Sometimes you will see minimum 250 words. That means you have to reach at least that 250 words for task completion. If you don't have 250 words, you start losing marks. They do count the number of words. The way that they count the number of words is they'll count up 3-4 lines, they'll draw an average, and then they'll multiply it by the number of lines in the essay. That's how you should do it at home. If that wasn't clear, just ask me again. But it's a very quick and easy way to get a pretty close idea of how many words you have in your essay. Okay, so let's get right into it. Step number 1, what is it, girls and guys? What should I do first? I know a lot of you watch these lessons regularly, so you should know the steps in your planning stage, okay? Today I'm going to move through the planning nice and smooth so we can get to the full essay. So in the planning, your first step, James correctly says, you should be paraphrasing the question. So number 1, paraphrase the question. Why do we do that? Anybody know? Why is it a really good idea to paraphrase the question before you begin writing? Why should you do that? Baljit says, well, first of all, you will think of some good vocabulary to use in your essay. That's right. You want to avoid word repetition in your essay. You want to come up with some solid synonyms, maybe some phrasal verbs, some antonym negatives, some descriptive words that are able to exchange some of these words used in the question, which are the topics and the controlling ideas. So let's do that. I'm going to paraphrase, and I challenge you to do the same. So here's the question again. I'm going to paraphrase it. Please do your own paraphrasing. I'll read your paraphrasing. I'll let you know if I think it's good or if it needs to be improved. So certain individuals, and it should be this quick. Sometimes, so I know some of the viewers are like, Adrian, that takes way too long. So I'm going to go quite smooth this time so you see how fast this can actually be. So certain individuals propose that having pets is good for long life. On the other hand, some people ascertain that keeping animals in the house is unhealthy. In the long term, or just unhealthy is enough. Okay, let's see. Did anybody paraphrase so far? Not so much. Begzod, you're almost right. You haven't done this one unless you've been watching for months and months. I did something similar to this one, but it was just one side of the argument. It was a little bit of a different question, also about pets. So I think that's what you're thinking about, Begzod. It's another question about pets, but it's just focusing on one side. This one's asking you to include both sides of the argument. Now, of course, back to planning. Your second step is identify the topic. So here the topic is pets. Okay. Ask what, why, how. So critical thinking. Animals people keep for company, fun, and use. Okay. Y, to take care of, love, protect the house, do jobs. Okay. How, dog, take a dog for walks, protects from burglars, pet, and love. Okay. All right. And then, of course, the next one is the controlling idea. So again, I'm moving along nice and smooth here, so you can see that it's very quick if you know what you're doing. So controlling idea is good or bad for people. Okay. What? Having pets. Good. Why? Exercise. Stress release. Companionship. How? Take dogs for walk. Someone or something in this case to talk to. Okay. And then bad. Why? Dirty. Bacteria and germs. Okay. How? Roll in the mud. Take the dirt home. Okay, something like that. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to get some clear ideas and visualize, of course, the situation. So picture having a dog. Imagine what it's like, even if you're not a dog owner. Okay, I see some paraphrasing coming up right now. So Manisha says, hi Manisha, some individuals believe that having pets is advantageous for a lifetime, while others say that there can be some health hazards of keeping pets at home. Very good, Manisha. That's a great paraphrase, some really nice vocabulary base there to use, okay? All right, Motivational Guru, I think you're overdoing it a bit. It's a bit awkward. I did have time to read it. You might want to rephrase that. Lorraine, shedding is a good word to use as well. That's when animals lose their fur. Jubilant James says, it is often argued by individuals that having domestic animals are good for endurance, a little bit awkward, good for health, instead of having them as companions, which may have negative impacts on health. There's some awkward grammar and language there, James. You might want to check that out. Aisha says, certain individuals believe that owning pets is good for living a long life, whereas others think that keeping them at home is a detriment for people's health. Aisha, that's another very good paraphrase, okay? So notice, girls and guys, from these students as well, there are lots of different ways to paraphrase task 2 questions. As long as you practice at home, it should be pretty smooth and quick. And same with the controlling ideas. Now here, I need to talk about both. So my thesis is clear. I just need to decide which one I believe more. So even when you're talking about both, you should decide which one you believe in more. So that's your step number 3 in your planning, okay? And here, I myself, I'm a pet lover. I think you could go either direction with this, but I'm going to advocate for owning pets as being more of a positive than a negative. So I know by this that my structure should be introduction. Then I need to write body 1 about negatives. Of keeping pets, especially for health. Then I'm going to write my body paragraph 2, because your second body paragraph should always be the side that you support more, or the side that you believe in. Okay, so body 2 will be positives of keeping pets for long life. Okay, And then, of course, last is my conclusion. All right. So hopefully here I was able to show you a little bit that planning is extremely important for task 2 questions. You need to take that 3, 4, 5 minutes to collect your ideas, collect your vocabulary, and have a clear direction. When you have a clear direction and you're able to express that in your writing, you will get a much higher band score, okay? It's a really bad idea to just begin writing without any preparation. Even very skillful authors prepare ideas, build a skeleton for their writing, build an outline. So it's a really, really bad idea to try to spontaneously write for the IELTS, okay? So let's start with the introduction. Now here, of course, the introduction has 3 parts, okay? So I'm going to do a little bit of pen work here for you to express this to you in another way. If some of you are using our full course on the website, you've probably seen a diagram that's kind of like this for the introduction, okay? And then it says hook at the top, then it says background, and then it says thesis, okay? And the triangle, I'm referring to, of course, our interactive course here. Now, a lot of students think, okay, the hook is not necessary. And a lot of students for IELTS just learn, hey, paraphrase the question, give your opinion, and start writing the body paragraphs. That's a very weak introduction. And that introduction in a diagram would just look like a box. It would look kind of like a body paragraph with maybe not even a closed top, like an open top like this, because there's no clear lead-in of where the information's coming from. The idea with this triangle here is that it's showing you that what you do when you have a hook and a good background and a good thesis is you're basically moving from general to specific information. Okay? So, as many of you know, the hook is a global statement that introduces the topic, okay? Catches the reader's attention, but also gets you focused on the topic and gets you thinking clearly. It's a global statement, so it's very broad. That's why it's at the top of this inverted triangle, okay? Then it's followed by a couple sentences which are the background. The background gives a definition for what you're talking about, okay? In this case, your reader needs to know if in your world the word pets means having a horse, having a monkey, having a flying squirrel in the house. Don't laugh. I've taught English around the world, and in some parts of the world, people do keep flying squirrels as pets in their home. Or if you're thinking about just dogs and cats, or if you're thinking about goldfish and hamsters, okay? So you need to be clear for your reader of what are you talking about? What is that topic? What is that noun? What are the controlling ideas? What does that mean for you before you set out to make an argument, okay? We're not talking about farm animals, Sandeep. We're just talking about household pets, or at least I am in this case, such as dogs and cats. And because it's a 250-word essay, or let's say 300 if you're a good, quick writer, you need to make sure that your target or your topic is focused, okay? You don't want to approach this in a very general sense because you don't have enough time. You're not writing enough words, okay? So you can't write about horses and birds and goldfish and everything else, all right? Jeffrey, that's right. This is a funnel. That's another way to look at it, is a funnel. So I'm going from this very global statement into defining the importance of the question and the definitions of the key words according to me as the writer. And then I introduce my thesis, which is, of course, my argument. Okay? And my thesis is specific, okay? It's going to tell the reader a specific opinion. So I'm going from this general to this very specific idea. Now, there's 2 good reasons to use this instead of just doing what some students learn where it's paraphrase question, or write the question. That's even worse when students just rewrite the question. Paraphrase the question plus argument. Okay? Many students learn that this is okay for IELTS Task 2. Write the introduction, write one sentence where you paraphrase the question, and then write your argument. In my opinion, that's a very weak introduction. And the other reason it's much better to practice this kind of an introduction for your Task 2 IELTS, especially if you're going for academic, going for university or college, is because once you get to university and college in the UK and Australia, Canada, the US, this is the standard introductory paragraph structure. So if you go in there and all you've practiced is this and all you know is this, you're going to have to learn this anyway. So you might as well learn it for the IELTS to get a higher band score and so you can be efficient in your next step in life. I hope that makes sense, okay? So let's do this now. All right. Let's do it with this idea. So while I'm erasing here, I'm going to ask you to come up with a hook for this question. So what would be a hook? And again, the hook should be simple. You should write a simple sentence. Don't write a complex or a compound sentence necessarily for your hook. Don't make mistakes in the hook. It looks really bad if your first sentence has grammar or spelling mistakes. So be very confident that you have a good, nice, clean hook. Okay? Again, in your hook, you shouldn't be quoting someone. You shouldn't be asking a question. Your goal is just to make a statement of fact. Okay? So Sevda Yüksel says, animals are one of the living creatures living in the world, and they can be best friends for many individuals. Sevda, too complicated, and that's why you have a mistake in there. Animals are one of the living creatures living in the world. That's clear for everyone. So animals can be best friends for many people or many individuals, Sevda. That would be your better hook. Okay, one more time, Sevda. So animals can be best friends for many individuals. Sevda, that would be your good hook. Okay? Having animals at home is a worldwide phenomenon, Aisha. Having animals at home has become common worldwide, Aisha. That would be another one, okay? Lesha Yun, that's a good one. The proper English expression is dog is man's best friend, okay? So it's quite a strong one to open with because I think it's argumentative already. It's opinionated. You don't want to emphasize opinion in your hook. Jeffrey, I missed yours, so just copy, paste, put it up again, and I'll read it, okay? Mohammed says, animals and humans are part of our society. Mohammed, very good. Nice, simple, clean, targets the topic, even targets the controlling idea. Very good hook, Mohammed. Animals and humans, make sure you have plural on both. Okay, if animals is plural, make sure humans, you have plural, okay? Remember, human is singular, humans is plural. It's not like person and people, okay? Roshni says, animals are source of evolution of love in human beings all over the world. Too complex, Roshni, so you have mistakes in there. You need to simplify it. Don't get too fancy with your hook, okay? Don't make mistakes in the hook. It looks really bad, okay? Manisha says, animals are perceived as good companions for humans. Again, Manisha, it's not bad, it's simple, but it's too opinionated. Try to keep opinions apart from your hook, okay? Many people treat their pets as family members. That's an okay one, Jeffrey. Absolutely. Not a lot of opinion in there. It's clean. It's good, okay? So, here we go. Hook. Millions of people keep pets at home for various reasons. Okay? Something like that as well. Millions of people keep pets at home for various reasons. All right? Simple, quantitative already, includes the topic, no mistakes. Okay? That's what you're going for. Now the background. All right. So the background, again, it's the definition. So the definitions of the key ideas, the controlling ideas in the topic, and importance of question. Okay? So that's what you're going for. All right. I'm going to write this, write your own, okay? So while I put up my background, so my definitions, write your own, and then I'll read some of them. Sorry, girls and guys, if I can't read all of yours, do try anyway, okay? I'll try to catch as many as I can. And again, write your own while I write this. So define what you mean by keeping pets at home, and then define why it's important to talk about this. Most commonly, people keep pets in their house or apartment, especially dogs and cats, to keep them company and share their love. Okay? And I'm going to take that out, that last piece, because I realized it wasn't parallel with keep them company, and it's enough, all right? Many people have concerns whether this is an overall positive or negative for human health. Okay, so that's the importance of the question. Many people have concerns whether this is an overall positive or negative for human health. Okay, the importance of the question. So definition, importance of question, and now I can write my thesis. Before I do that, I'll check out what you've written for your background. Okay, so let's see. Bihumit Jobanputra says, nowadays animals are a cardinal part of our life. People believe having animals helps to have good company in their everyday endeavors or personal life. It's a little bit awkward, Bihumit. You might want to rephrase that, but your idea, it's good. Okay? Fazia, that's already more of your thesis, okay? Girls and guys, I'm going to maybe emphasize this because I think what I see is that a lot of people are making these mistakes, okay? So, for the introduction, do not give an opinion in the hook or background. Save this for the thesis. Okay? In the hook and in the background, you just want to introduce these ideas. You don't want to really give an opinion like it's good for people or it's bad for people, because then it might contradict your thesis and it might be awkward with the thesis opinion, okay? So keep the opinion for the thesis. Try to look at your hook and look at your background and think, am I making an opinion here? If you're making an opinion or giving an opinion, then rephrase it so it's not, okay? So Hardik says, pets are loyal creatures that shower unconditional love. Again, that's more of an opinion, Hardik. Gaurav Sharma says, generally people like to have pets living with them, preferably dogs and cats, for security and having good company. Some people argue that having pets in homes can be very unhealthy, okay? Take out the word our, Gaurav. So remember, try not to use our, we, or us. Don't pull your reader into the situation. Maybe your reader has never had a pet, so use people instead, okay? All right, Sevda says, certain people in the world care for pets in their home or living area, such as cats and dogs. Many individuals keep pets at home, whether it is healthy or not. Okay, that's good, Sabda, that's good. It's opinion-free. It targets the controlling idea. People love to keep pets and treat them as their family members. However, the cause of some infections that can be harmful for humans also might be from this practice. Sure, Manisha, just finish that idea, okay? It's pretty good. All right. So the thesis statement. Now, here, some students, or actually quite a few students, I've seen do this for their thesis. This essay will discuss both views about pets at home. Okay? Is this thesis good? Is this a good thesis to have for your task 2? This thesis or this essay will discuss both views about pets at home. Is that a good thesis statement? Begzad says no, it's not. Manisha has a good laugh about it and says it's not required. Sevda says no. Sure. Vegan says no, it's redundant. Begzad says this is zero value. Absolutely, okay? So this is not a good thesis for the reasons that your fellow students are explaining. It has zero value, okay? Always think logically, always think critically. I'm the examiner. I'm reading your essay. It's 250 words. I know what the question is. Now, why are you telling me that you're going to talk about this, okay? Just write about it. You don't need to tell me that you will write about it. I hope that you will write about it because that's the question. So telling me that you will write about it is just wasting my time, your time. It's wasting your words and the amount of time you have to write. It has zero value, okay? In university, if you write something like this is a little bit of a forewarning, girls and guys, your essay score will just plummet, okay? It has zero value, this type of a thesis, so please don't write this kind of thesis, all right? Absolutely, Jeffrey. Just get right into it. Just claim your position, your opinion, and that's good enough, okay? So again, girls and guys, write your own thesis statement. I'll write mine up here. Write yours. The thesis is the most important part of your essay. It's the single most important sentence in your essay. A good thesis will allow you to write a great essay. A bad thesis will not, okay? Make your essay thesis a direct thesis. So have clear points in your thesis to show the reader what you are going to argue or establish, all right? So although pets can cause disease due to germs and bacteria, they also extend people's life through companionship and exercise. Okay? So here is my direct thesis. Although pets can cause disease due to germs and bacteria, they also extend people's lives through companionship and exercise. Okay? Direct thesis, when the examiner reads this, they have a very clear idea that this student is most likely, hopefully, going to write one body paragraph about how pets can cause disease and make people sick, and then another body paragraph about how people can live a longer life because they have companionship, so they have a friend, they have someone to keep them company, and they provide a source of exercise or physical movement, okay? So that thesis is a top-level thesis, and you're going for a high band score, and you're not wasting anybody's time. All right. So Marasa says, I strongly believe that keeping pets at home is beneficial. Now, Marasa, remember here, you have to discuss both views. So you must not fall into the trap that you love pets, you've had dogs all your life, and you're only going to write about that. You can't. The question's asking you to write about the other side as well, the other view. Okay? Baljit says, I agree with the idea of keeping pets such as dogs and cats as they bring happiness in owner's life. Again, Baljit, that's a one-sided thesis. You need to have a thesis that shows both ideas. Motivational Guru says, both points of view give scrutiny before forming opinions, quite confusing and grammatically incorrect, motivational guru. You need to go back to the drawing board with that one. Laraib Zahir says, in terms of pets as loving creatures of nature, however, most people would love to take pets. Again, back to the drawing board, too many mistakes there. Begzad says, although pets have a detrimental impact on our health because of being dirty, keeping them can be beneficial to release stress, and something that was a great thesis. Jubilant James says, although pets may cause hazards to health, they are also crucial and play an important role to live a longer life. Okay, good. Jubilant James, that's good too. It's direct. You're still showing me that paragraph 1 is the negative side, paragraph 2 is the positive side. That's great. Okay. No, Fazia, absolutely not. The thesis is not the paraphrase, okay, of the introduction. It can be close, but it's not a paraphrase, all right? Vijay Prajwal, sorry if I can't pronounce some of your names correctly. I try my best. In my opinion, having pets at home is beneficial. However, it does not affect human health because it is we who maintain surroundings. VJ, you're off topic. It's not asking you about just the beneficial aspects, and it's not asking you of whether it's up to us or not. You might be able to weave that in, but it's not the right way, okay? Jeffrey, although some believe that animals can cause disease for humans, I'm on the opposite side and think that animals benefit people greatly, okay? Good, Jeffrey. A little bit awkward near the end, but for the most part, good. Again, it works. All right. So, girls and guys, if you're not sure when you're writing your thesis, okay, one good step that you can take as a double insurance is just read this part of the question again. Discuss both sides of the argument. You have to discuss both sides. If your thesis is one-sided, it right away tells the examiner that this student is probably not going to write about both sides. If that's the case, your mark is going down. If you do end up writing about both sides, then the examiner is thinking, why didn't they show me that in the thesis to begin with? Okay? So your thesis has to reflect the nature of the task 2 question. It's very important. All right, let's get into body paragraph 1. So body paragraph 1, of course, starts with the topic sentence. Now, again, I'll put up the graph here of what this kind of looks like. So on the website, we have this as a box, okay, for body paragraphs, the diagram. The first part of it is the topic sentence. The topic sentence is basically a deeper definition of your thesis point, okay? And then after that comes your explanation. This is a very simple diagram for body paragraphs. They can get more complex. And your explanation should have visual and quantitative information, not just qualitative. Okay? And then comes your example. Okay, your example should be strongly reflective of your explanation. And then after your example comes your connecting, also called concluding sentence, okay? So that's the basic structure of a body paragraph. Topic sentence, explanation, example, connecting, concluding sentence. Now, in the IELTS for task 2, because you're writing 250 words, this is 6 to 8 sentences. So you might have one sentence for your topic sentence. Again, try to avoid mistakes right in the topic sentence. Then you might have a couple of sentences for your explanation, a couple more sentences for your example, and another sentence for your connecting or concluding part of the paragraph. For the second body paragraph, you might not even need this part because your conclusion follows after. Begzod, quantitative info means numbers, okay? So it's not just saying that a lot of people get sick every year because of diseases they catch from their animals, but you might want to say something like more than 1 million people are hospitalized each year from diseases they catch at home from their pets. You can make it up, okay? The IELTS doesn't judge whether or not your facts are right. And I would definitely argue that most likely there are at least 1 million or 2 million people in the world who get some kind of a sickness because of germs that their pet has brought home. So that's the structure of a body paragraph. You got to stick to that. Now, again, practice this for IELTS, get a high band score. Not only that, but if you're in college or university after or in the workplace, then it's very valuable to have a good grasp of this kind of body paragraph structure because your university essays require the same, okay? All right, so while I'm erasing, start thinking about your topic sentence. So give me a topic sentence for pets have germs and disease and bacteria and virus and such, and they're all dirty. Give me a nice topic sentence that expands on this a little bit more for the reader. Okay? Not quite the explanation, just something that expands on it for the reader. Okay? So I'm going to do the same. It is a known fact that animals such as cats and dogs are often carriers of many kinds of bacteria, virus, and other pathogens that can harm humans. Okay, let's see what you wrote down there. So how did you expand in there? Yeah, your example should be a personal example, motivational guru. We'll get to that section. So various health hazards. Sorry, I couldn't catch that one before I left, but it looked like a good start there, whoever started that one. Okay, let's start with Pachu Yadav. Yes, you can write a hypothetical example. That's fine. So you're only writing 2 body paragraphs, Hardik. If you're supporting the side more that pets are good, then you should leave that for your second body paragraph, okay? Baljit says, certainly it is true that pets and animals carry health hazards such as bacteria, virus, and other pathogens. Yes, and other disease-causing agents, if you don't know the word pathogens, or disease-causing factors. Okay, James says, keeping pets not only has detrimental effects on human health, but they carry germs and bacteria. James, that's awkward because the not only but also, there's not a not only but also, it's the one and the same idea. Jeffrey says, animals have the instinct that they love to play outside, hence they bring many bacteria into people's homes. Yes, that's a good one for topic sentence, Jeffrey. It's a little bit leaning towards an explanation, but it's good, okay? So, explanation. That's the next one. Try to write some explanations, girls and guys, while I look at a couple more topic sentences. Okay? All Summer says, it is evident that keeping pets at home can cause disease as they are full of germs which can harm their owners. Aisha says, on the one hand, owning household animals can have a detrimental impact on people's health. Okay, Aisha, it's a little bit redundant to the thesis. I don't think you're going into too much more detail with that. Also, Aisha, with the on the one hand, on the other hand, careful with this one, girls and guys. They're okay expressions, the on the one hand, on the other hand, but every single IELTS student uses on one hand, on the other hand. So believe me that it doesn't have a lot of value for your score, because when examiners see on the one hand, on the other hand used by every single student, it just loses its value, okay? So explanation. Animals do not have the same kinds of hygiene practice as humans. They do not wash and shower as people do. Therefore, over time, they collect many pathogens in their fur and mouth, which can make millions of people sick around the world. And here I'm going to do a little bit of a change. So my explanation, so far animals do not have the same kinds of hygiene practice as humans. Hygiene practice, by the way, means things like washing your hands, taking a shower, using soap, of course, brushing your teeth. So that's called hygiene, okay, keeping clean. I'm teaching you some vocabulary while I'm teaching you task 2 as well here. So they do not wash and shower as people do. Therefore, over time, they collect many pathogens. Pathogens are any kind of bacteria or virus or parasites in nature that make us sick. So they're disease-causing agents. In their fur and mouth, so notice the fur and mouth here. What I'm doing there is I'm going for some visual language so we can picture this dirt, the bacteria, the virus collecting in the fur and in the mouth of the animals. And then, of course, using an adjective clause here, which can make millions of people sick around the world. Little bit awkward. One correction that I can make here is take out the word can. It's better to use affirmative language. And that's another point that I want to make in today's lesson because I see this mistake too often. Okay. So often what happens is students try to be a little bit too polite in their writing. Task 2, it's not good to be polite, okay? So I'm going to give you another really important tip here for your writing, and this is also to some of our sponsors, because I've seen you do this, some sponsors in your work as well, where you use modal language, so you use words like maybe or could or should, okay? That's not good. Generally speaking, in an argumentative essay, you want to avoid words like could or maybe or can or should. Instead, you want to use affirmative language. Affirmative language means that it's direct as strong. It's not like we could do that, but it's we will do that or we do that, okay? It's a lot more clear, especially when you're making an argument. Don't weaken your argument with modal words, okay? So use affirmative language means 100%, not maybe or could or should. Okay, now careful students who are general IELTS and you're studying for task 1. In general IELTS task 1, if you're writing a letter, you will, in many cases, need to use modal language like could or maybe to be polite, but not in task 2, okay? So this is specifically for task 2, okay? So use affirmative language like can and do. Okay, so not things like maybe or could. Okay, that weakens your essay, and oftentimes it's actually it leads to mistakes, grammar mistakes when students are using those. Okay, so Tambi Ektari says having a pet can bring many bacteria, therefore they can bring disease into the house. Tanvi, that's not an example, the fur part, okay? Motivational guru, your explanation. Some citizens think that animals like dogs carry a lot of bacteria and virus and other kinds of disease. So they collect these diseases in their fur and mouth, which is, okay, you're kind of going in the right direction there. Sebda says, when people are only taught one way to care about animals, clean themselves in their tongue, Sebda, a little bit awkward there. I can't really make out where you're going with it. Okay. They can take home pathogens such as bacteria, virus in their foot and fur. They don't have feet. Humans have feet. Animals have paws. Okay. P-A-W-S. Human feet are different. Monkeys have feet. Humans have feet. Other animals have hooves or paws. Okay. Let's see what else you have. Bukhmeet Joban Putra says it's common that pets stay outside, so many of them carry bacteria and pathogens when they go back into the home. This is the main reason why pets can be detrimental to health. Bukhmeet, that's very good. Pay attention to my corrections. Notice how I took out the word thing. The word thing, Bukhmeet, has no value. Never use the word thing in your essay. Try to avoid it in your speaking as it has zero value for people, okay? Yes, I see that many of you have noticed the word six instead of sick. I'm changing it now. I just wanted to keep the flow going. Okay, so there I have my explanation. Now I want to give an example. The example should be a specific example taken from your own life, especially if the question's asking you to do that. So I know, again, a lot of students think, oh, my teachers told me never to use personal examples like I, me, my. In university, that's true. In university, you need to use facts and research to back up your opinions. You can use Google and the library to do that. In IELTS, you can't. That's why they ask for examples from your own knowledge or experience. Again, it makes logical sense, right? In IELTS, you don't have books. You can't use books. You can't use your phone to do a search for facts to back up your arguments. So you're basically taking these ideas from your own life in most cases. You can make up false examples. It's okay. They don't care about that. But it is first person, so you should include personal examples. And the question says that. It says include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. Your own, by the way, is a very strong way to say that they're looking for that personal experience. So when you say your own, it's emphasizing that it's your experience. You could actually say this with just from your knowledge or experience, but they include the word own to emphasize that it's first person, okay? So if you see that, make sure that you include it that way. Yes, just give me one moment. If I miss some of yours, you can feel free to copy paste it back in and maybe catch it the second round. Okay, so James says, for instance, during the outbreak of the bird flu, chickens on farms were affected. Which disease I contracted? James, good idea with the bird flu, but you're off topic because those are farm animals and we're not really talking about the farm animals, so your example doesn't directly back up your explanation. Remember what I said just a few moments ago, the example has to be very strongly connected to the explanation in the topic sentence, okay? Aisha says, one client example for this are cats, which many people are allergic to, due to bacteria that's living on their skin. Possible, okay, Aisha, connect that to yourself. Even if you're not allergic to cats, I would say that. For instance, I have a very strong allergy to cats because of the oil on their skin, and I can't visit my sister's house because she has 2 of them, something like that, okay? Gaurav says, as in one instance, last year, my uncle got severely ill. Upon diagnosis, doctors discovered that it was due to a disease transferred from his dog. Yeah, very good. Gaurav, that's a good example, okay? Baljit says, for instance, my dog was lost last month, eventually came home with his tongue infected with Zuba virus. But when I came to know about the disease, it was too late because the virus had transmitted to me and my family. Very good, Baljit. That's a fantastic example. I mean, it's a terrible situation, but the example itself is very good. You have a very specific disease. You have a very specific, visible, measurable example. Gets you a high band score, okay? For instance, one of my good friends got Lyme disease, which is terrible. I'm just making this up. It's not true. Because of a tick that traveled home on his dog from one of his from when his dad went for a hike. Okay. So kind of following along with some of your examples, for instance, one of my good friends got Lyme disease because of a tick that traveled home on his dog from when his dad went for a hike, okay? Again, very sad, terrible example. Hopefully it never happens to anyone. But a very strong example. Now, here we have the connecting sentence, okay? And the connecting sentence can be written in a few different ways. You can try it on your own. I'm going to write it up here. However, this is a very unfortunate event and happens rarely. Okay? So that's my connecting and my concluding sentence. All right. So obviously this kind of situation doesn't happen that often. Most of the time, if people get sick, they probably just catch some kind of a flu or similar, or they get a rash, something like that. If you want, you could write about that if you're a fast writer and you have lots of time. But this is good enough for now, and I can confidently continue on to body paragraph 2. So, body 2, girls and guys, give me the topic sentence while I write my own. Okay. So here, write topic sentences for body paragraph 2, and I'm going to try to catch as many of them as I can, okay? Motivational guru, I see you got another example up there. For example, I'm living in a nuclear family. We have a Labrador. Or you can even just say we have a lab. You don't need to say breed of dog, motivational guru. It's understood. Most people will know what a lab is. So for instance, I'm living in a nuclear family with our lab, Sparky. A few days back, we had to take him to the vet because he got very sick, and the doctor told us we are lucky because these kinds of bacteria and viruses could also harm family members. Okay, so something like that, motivational guru. It's good. No, Baljit. This time I'm going to try to finish up the essay with you, okay? All right. Here we go. So, it is well known that having pets motivates people to action and keeps them happy. Okay? So, it is well known that having pets motivates people to action and keeps them happy. Dog owners agree. Why did I take that out? So will agree. So if I keep writing like this, why did I take out the word will? You probably saw me do that just now. I quickly jumped back and I took it out. Why did I take out the word agree? There's a reason there. And again, I'm trying to highlight a very common mistake that students make in their task to essay. What is that mistake? What mistake am I referring to? Dog owners agree that owning a canine keeps them fit by encouraging daily walks. Okay? Why did I take out will? Anybody answer that question of mine? Nobody yet. Because will pushes the tense of my essay into the future, okay? What tense is my essay? So if I look at my essay, can anybody tell me what tense I'm using in my essay? What verb tense I'm using in my essay? Except for my example, what tense is it using? Yeah, so you're saying present. Absolutely. When you make an argument, you want to make an argument so that it is generally accepted, it's generally true. If you have a good argument, your argument should hold true in the past, in the present, and in the future. So you're focusing on present tense. So good, Murasa. Good, Charbjeet, Grupa, Jubilant, James. Good for you for identifying that it's present tense. So I want to focus on holding and keeping my essay in present tense, especially topic sentences and explanations, okay? I don't want to jump into the future because that's awkward. For readers who are good readers, they will catch that very quickly, okay? So again, another quick tip here, okay? Another important tip. When you're practicing task 2 at home, as soon as you write a verb and you realize you've written the verb in a past tense, pay close attention and assess the situation. Think about it. Go, does it need to be past tense? If it doesn't need to be past tense, make it present tense, okay? If you've written the word will, then definitely make sure to check that. Canine ritu is another way to say dog, okay? It's a teeth. One of your teeth, that sharp tooth that all of you have in the top row, it's the 1, 2, 3. It's the fourth tooth, I think. That sharp tooth that looks like a vampire tooth, that's your canine tooth, okay? Canine is, and thank you for the spelling there, Jubilant James. When written as a word, it's a canine, yeah. It's another way to say dog, okay? So keep your task 2 essay in present tense. If you write a past tense verb, like an ed, or use future participle will, stop, and check to make sure that it is correct. In most cases, it can be expressed as a present tense. Okay, so really pay attention to that one, girls and guys. If you make tense mistakes, if you're jumping around from past to present to future to present to past to future, it gets really confusing and your IELTS score goes, really does, okay? Tenses can really confuse your reader, okay? So dog owners agree that having a canine, the reason I'm using canine here, by the way, and I'm changing this as well, is because I'm avoiding word repetition. So ideally, you're not repeating the same words. So dog owners agree that owning a dog is awkward. Dog owners agree that owning a dog, a little bit weird. So I'm trying to paraphrase as much as possible. If I can't paraphrase, then I might just rewrite the whole sentence in a different way. Okay? I'm glad, Jeffrey, that you enjoyed my dive bomb effects sounds there. I'm practicing. Dog owners agree that having a canine keeps them fit by encouraging daily walks. Furthermore, social isolation is detrimental to human health, especially for the elderly. Therefore, having a pet around the house can extend an older person's life by at least several years. Okay? So that's my explanation for that. And then, of course, my example, and here I can just make an example up from Grandpa, right? My grandfather has a German Shepherd. Can't spell shepherd. Has a German Shepherd, so he goes for at least 3 walks a day. Since he lives alone, his dog keeps him company, and this has likely helped him reach the ripe age of 89. All right, just making it up. Unfortunately, my grandparents are no longer alive, but that's how you can just make it up and kind of visualize it. Pay attention to that quantitative information. So, my grandfather has a German Shepherd. By the way, girls and guys, about spelling, if you misspell the word shepherd, are you going to lose a band score? No, absolutely not. All right. If you make lots of spelling mistakes that make the writing confusing, then definitely you'll start losing band scores. But if you have 1 or 2 mistakes in your essay, or a few mistakes in your essay here and there without really mucking up the information, you can still get a very, very high band score. Okay. So my grandfather has a German Shepherd, so he goes for at least 3 walks a day. Since he lives alone, his dog keeps him company, and this has likely helped him reach the ripe age of 89. So pets can clearly be a benefit for humans. Okay, now notice that writing this reach the ripe age of 89 also helps me to target that key word in the question, which is beneficial for longevity. So it shows the examiner that you're on target. All right, I'll read some of these examples. Baljit, just copy yours back in again so I can see it in the stream. Sudarashan says... Canine. Oh, yeah, you could write that in a formal situation. Sudarashan, sure. Yeah, it's fine. Jubilant James says, for instance, my grandmother and I go for daily morning walks with her pets named Chico, which is a German Shepherd. She's always very happy and vibrant and has reached the age of 85. Sure, that's a good example, James. Baljit, copy paste it one more time and I'll catch it this time, okay? Hamid says it is a privilege to have pets in the house because a pet like a dog provides security. However, they are also emotional support with their owners, so they never feel lonely. Yeah, Muhammad, notice that you have the word will in there. People will never feel lonely. That's the exact kind of will, future participle, that you want to eliminate. Now, if you're in the IELTS and you're writing your task 2 and you just wrote the word will and you go, oh, just cross it out. Just cross it out. Sometimes you realize that you don't even need it. You just cross it out and it still reads fine. Okay, motivational guru says, for instance, dogs are very beneficial for the police or cops. Yeah, but motivational guru, you're way off topic because we're talking about pets and health. We're not talking about pets or animals as service animals that do certain jobs for human society. Okay? Make sure that your example doesn't go off topic, okay? Animals play a lot of different roles in human society and life. Here we're focusing on pets, having them in the home, healthy, not healthy, talk about both, okay? All right, remember the original question, girls and guys. Never forget. If you forget, look back at it. So here we have the conclusion now, okay? So in conclusion, it is debatable whether or not keeping pets in the home is a good idea. In some cases, pets result in disease for the family. However, in most cases or instances, having a pet aids in exercise and long life. Okay? Now, here we have a take-home message as the last sentence. The last sentence of your conclusion should always be something valuable for your reader. Let's see what you come up with for some take-home messages. I'll leave that one to you. I'll do my own here in a second. I'll read a couple more examples. So Jeffrey says, my grandma has a fish tank. And she often stares at them for hours. Over time, her body, or she became healthier, and she no longer suffers from her stroke symptoms. Very good, Jeffrey. It is a good example. You could target something like a fish tank. Fish are very relaxing for a lot of people to care for and to look at them in their home. So it's a good example, Jeffrey. You just need to word it a little bit better and pay attention to your grammar, okay? You can emphasize your belief in the conclusion part, Sevda. In this one, you're talking about both sides, so you don't necessarily have to, but you can. You can say, nevertheless, I am more for the side of keeping pets at home, something like that. So you could do that, okay? Exercise and a long life. In either case, pets are here to stay, and many people continue to enjoy their company. Okay, so that's my take-home message. In either case, pets are here to stay, so it's not like because we just debated or argued about this, we're going to snap our fingers and poof, all the pets in the world are gone. They're definitely here to stay, and many people continue to enjoy their company. So that kind of wraps it up. That's the take-home message. Might have the reader think about, hey, maybe I want a pet so I can enjoy their company. If you have time, girls and guys, read your essay, check for mistakes. I'm going to do that in this case. You can even read the question if you're really good at writing and you have about 5 minutes left. You can go back, look at the question. Some people argue that keeping pets is beneficial for longevity, while others believe that household animals are unhealthy for people to have as companions. Discuss both sides of the argument, include relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience, and then read the essay. So, millions of people keep pets at home for various reasons. Most commonly, people keep pets in their house or apartment. And that's why you're proofreading. A little quick example there. The house or apartment, especially dogs and cats, to keep them company. Many people have concerns whether this is an overall positive or negative for human health. Okay. Although pets can cause disease due to germs and bacteria, they also extend people's life through companionship and exercise. It is a known fact that animals such as cats and dogs are often carriers of many kinds of bacteria, virus, and other pathogens that can harm humans. Animals do not have the same kind of hygiene practice as humans. They do not wash and shower as people do. Therefore, over time, they collect many pathogens in their fur and mouth, which make millions of people sick around the world annually. For instance, one of my good friends got Lyme disease because of a tick that traveled home on his dog from when his dad went for a hike. However, this is a very unfortunate event and happens rarely. It is well known that having pets motivates people to action and keeps them happy. Dog owners agree that having a canine keeps them fit by encouraging daily walks. Furthermore, social isolation is detrimental to human health, especially for the elderly. Therefore, having a pet around the house can extend an older person's life. Notice there's a little blue indicating that there's something wrong with the grammar, not showing belonging, by at least several years. My grandfather has a German Shepherd, so he goes for at least 3 walks a day. Since he lives alone, his dog keeps him company, and this has likely helped him reach the ripe age of 89. So, pets can clearly have very positive effects on human life. In conclusion, it is debatable whether or not keeping pets in the home is a good idea. In some cases, pets result in disease for the family. However, in most instances, having a pet aids in exercise and long life. In either case, pets are here to stay, and many people continue to enjoy their company. Okay, it's a fairly good essay. I would definitely give it an 8, 8.5. I might not give it a 9. A little bit of redundancy in there. But if you write like that, you'll surely reach the score that you need to reach. Okay, I can see that some students are still writing some conclusions and some ideas. Prem Gerg is thinking about having a kangaroo as a pet, which would be very, very cool, although could be a little bit dangerous. Boxing with a kangaroo would be a bad idea. The kangaroo would win. That's where I would put my bet. Motivational Guru, in conclusion, both points of view make sense in one way or another. Good. I like it, Motivational Guru. However, according to me, we should be careful while supporting it completely, as it sounds a bit illogical and irrational as well. I don't know where you're going with that second part of the conclusion. You might want to revise that. Okay. Gaurav, we're doing task 1 later this week. Thank you for asking me about that. I went over that at the beginning of the class. I have it scheduled for the 27th, which is the day after tomorrow. So on Friday, we'll be looking at a task 1, okay? Haven't covered letter writing yet, Tabassum. I think what we will do in the coming weeks is probably start doing some live streaming on our General IELTS channel, which is a different channel. It's General IELTS Help, okay? That's it for now, girls and guys. So thank you for sticking with me. I hope I was able to give you a lot of good advice, useful information for your IELTS Task 2 writing. Make sure to practice at home. Practice does make perfect. Using idioms, Motivational Guru, can be a really bad idea because if you make a mistake with idioms, you can completely lose coherence. And it's not necessary to get a 7, 8, or even a 9, okay? You don't have to use an idiom, and idioms aren't very formal at all, so you don't need them, okay? Mohammed, yeah, absolutely. You can send me the essay, and I will gladly post it on our sponsor comment page. No problem there, for sure. Gur Nishan, that's a pretty good conclusion. It's not bad. All right, James, I'm happy to help you out. Okay, girls and guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. Keep up the good practice. I will see you tomorrow. Sponsors, it is a sponsor chat-only class. Everybody's welcome to view. So make sure you join so we have some good information flow. Much love to everybody.
Bye for now. Have a great rest of your day or have a good night.